All of you that's going to testify, if you'll raise your right
Okay.
hand so we swear you in, please.
Raise your hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Cause number 57, the estate of Robert Edwin Clemens.
No.
No?
Yes, Your Honor.
You hear on that?
Yes, Aaron Twardowski representing Joe Clemens, the applicant.
And you may proceed.
Am I on the wrong Zoom meeting? I'm supposed to be one for Timothy McCleary for his estate.
No, you're on it. We'll get to it in a moment.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Yeah, we got a docket, so we'll go down the list.
Sounds good.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you may proceed, Mr. Twardowski.
I'll start with Joe Clemens, my first witness. Can you state your full name for the record, Mr. Clemens?
Joe Edwin Clemens.
And is it correct that you're the applicant to determine the heirship and for an independent administration for Robert Edwin Clemens estate?
That's correct.
And what is your relationship with Mr. Robert Clemens?
That's my father.
And you live at 15907 Craighurst Drive, Houston, right?
That's right.
Isn't it true that Robert Clemens passed away on November 9th, 2023 at Houston Methodist in Baytown?
Yes.
And at the time he passed away, he was living at 8202 Greenleaf in Baytown,
Yes, that's correct.
and he was a resident of Chambers County.
Yes.
All right. Did you ever discuss a will with your father?
Yeah, he let us know that they had a will and, showed it to me and everything. And then as he got a little ill, he wanted to make sure I had the copy, had control of everything.
And when you passed, or when he passed, you searched for the will, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, we had it. He'd already let us, make sure I had it so it wouldn't get lost or anything that he was afraid he might lose it, deteriorate.
But unfortunately, that copy that you had was not signed by him.
Yes, we didn't realize. Yeah.
Okay, and you were not able to locate any other copy that was signed and executed?
No, that was all we had.
Okay. So you believe that he passed away without a signed will?
Yes.
Okay. And is it correct that he was married to your mother, Lou Ellis Clemens?
Yes.
And she passed away before Robert Clemens, is that right?
Yes, 2019.
But he did not remarry after her passing?
No.
Okay. And the children born during their marriage, can you list those for us?
Yes, it's me first, my sister Rhonda, and then my brother Ricky, and then our youngest sister Jennifer.
Okay.
14 years after me or something like that, 12, 14 years later.
Okay, so that's Rhonda O'Sullivan, Ricky Clemens, and Jennifer Clemens.
Yes.
Okay. And all of your siblings have filed a waiver in this matter, and they're not opposed to the heirship proceeding. So we'd like to ask the court to take judicial notice of those waivers and consent. Let's see. And you stated that those are your siblings. And is it true that those are the only heirs of Mr. Robert Edwin Clemens?
That's correct.
Okay. And you're not disqualified from being an independent administrator, meaning you don't have any felonies, any bankruptcies, you're not incapacitated?
No.
Okay. All right. We ask the court to appoint Mr. Clemens as the independent administrator and to waive the bond and appraisal. And I pass this witness.
Yes, sir.
I believe that ad
Dawson,
litem
can you hear me?
have some questions.
I am having a hard time hearing not only Ms. Twardowski, but also Mr. Clemens. So if it's my time, my name is Dawson, Dick Dawson. I'm the attorney ad litem.
It is your turn.
Okay, Mr. Clemens,
Yes, sir.
your father passed away in 2023, is that correct?
That is correct.
And he was married for a long time to your mother, and her name was Lou Ellis, is that correct?
That is also correct.
And they were married on or about 1959, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Was that the only marriage?
Yes.
And how many children were born to the marriage?
4 of us.
Okay, was there any other person that was adopted?
No, sir.
So all the children, the 4 children, the biological children of Robert Edwin Clemens, as well as your mother, Lou Ellis, is that right?
That is right.
And from your testimony, he had a will, but it was not signed. So for all practical purposes, we don't have a signed will, correct?
Yes, sir. They didn't have it notarized or anything. We didn't realize. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Have you ever been convicted of any criminal offense that would result in incarceration?
No, sir.
And have you ever been declared mentally incapacitated?
No, sir.
And I understand that that your brother Ricky lived at the residence on Greenleaf with your mother and dad. Is that correct?
That is correct. He was the caretaker for my parents for the last several years.
Right, right. And all the kids pretty much look to you to take care of the finances. Is that right?
That is correct.
And that's all I have. I pass the witness.
Would ask any more witnesses.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call my second witness, Mr. George Goza.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Where are you, Mr. Gozer? Raise your right hand. Oh, I see you. Never mind. Okay, you may proceed, Counselor.
All right, Mr. Goza, can you state your full name for the record?
George Granville Goza,
And what is your address?
1306 Canyon Springs Drive, LaPorte, Texas.
And how did you know Mr. Robert Edwin Clemens?
I grew up in the neighborhood with Joe and his brothers and sisters. We went to the same elementary school and spent a lot of time over there as a young kid growing up.
So how long have you known Robert?
40 plus years.
All right. And I guess you're aware that he was married to Miss Lou Ellis.
Yes.
Do you know if he ever remarried after Mr. Lou Ellis or Mrs. Lou Ellis's passing?
No, he did not.
All right. And do you know if they had any children?
No, they did not. Just the 4 that I know.
And can you list those for us?
Joe, Ricky, Rhonda, and Jennifer.
Okay. All right. Did you ever talk to Mr. Robert Clemens about a will or his estate planning?
No, I did not.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, he passed away without a signed will?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. And is it true that you are not interested in the decedent's estate? You're not receiving any compensation and you don't have an interest in the estate?
I do not have any interest in that estate.
Okay, thank you. All right, I pass the witness.
Dawson.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Gosen, my name's Dawson, Dick Dawson. I'm the attorney ad litem appointed by the court to identify the heirs, known and unknown. And I understand that you grew up in the same neighborhood as Robert Clemens and his family. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes,
And
sir.
what neighborhood was that?
Meadow Creek Village.
Okay, did you go to school with some of his kids?
Yes, sir. Joe and I are basically the same age. So for elementary all the way through high school until my parents moved to Deer Park, Texas. Joe and I were really close friends, along with the rest of his brothers and sisters.
Okay, were there any other children born or adopted to Robert Clemens or his wife Lou Ellis?
No, sir.
All right, and at the time of his death, did Robert Edward Clemens have a spouse? Did he have a wife when he died?
When he died?
When he died, did he have a surviving spouse? Was he a
No, sir.
single person? How about that?
She had already passed, so no, sir.
Okay, all right, fine. And I understand there's 4 children born to Robert Clements, is that right?
That is correct.
Is it your opinion that Mr. Clements would want all of his 4 kids to inherit his estate?
Yes, sir. I would believe that to be true.
Thank you. Do you believe that Joe Clements is qualified to serve as administrator of the estate?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you for your testimony and the assistance in this family matter. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Call your next witness, Counselor.
All right, I'd like to call my next witness, John Peak. And Judge, are you okay with a shortened testimony mirroring?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. John, you heard the questions asked to Mr. Goza, is that right?
That's right. I heard everything.
And if I asked you those same questions, would any of your answers be different?
No, answers would all be the same.
All right, I pass the witness.
Dawson.
Mr. Peak, how long did you know the decedent, Robert Edward Clemens?
45 years.
How many kids did he have?
4.
Do you know their first names?
I do. Joe, the oldest, Rhonda, then Rick, and then Jennifer.
Were there any other children born or adopted?
No, sir.
Are you related at all by blood or marriage to the decedent?
No, sir.
And do you have any financial interest or any financial gain by your testimony today?
No, sir.
At the time of the death, Robert Edwards Clemens, was he a single person?
Yes, he was.
And the only marriage was to Lou Ellis, who was the mother of the 4 children. Is that right?
That's correct.
I have nothing further, Judge.
Basky, any other testimony?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I said any other testimony?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
We
All right.
agreed on an ad litem fee, Judge, as far as I know.
All right, I'm gonna approve that item fee. He's got an order here for $475. Is that correct? 475?
As far as
Yes.
I know, yes.
Okay, that's what the order says. All right, I'm gonna approve the termination of heirship and letters of independent administration. Thank you all.
Awesome.
Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be
Have a good
excused?
day. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, cause number 2, the state of Timothy Michael McCleary.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I am here.
And I'm here as well.
There you are, Mr. Free.
All
Yeah,
right.
okay.
I
You
have
may
two,
proceed.
I
you
have
may
two
proceed,
witnesses,
Counselor.
Your Honor. All right. Let me start as Jonathan McCleary. Would you please state your name?
Jonathan Gabriel McCleary.
And Mr. McCleary, is it true that Timothy McCleary, your brother, died on December 14th, 2024, at the age of 45 years? Is that true?
Correct.
Is it true that he was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence here in Chambers County at the time of his death?
Yes.
Is it true that there's a necessity for an administration in that the estate needs to be gathered and distributed? Is that true?
We couldn't find a will, so yes, it looks that way.
Okay. And is it true that you're entitled to letters of independent administration and you are not disqualified? Is that true?
That is true.
Is it true that Timothy McCleary died without a will?
As far as we can tell, yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you some questions about his heirship. Timothy McCleary was your brother, is that correct?
Yes.
So you have personal knowledge of his family and marriages, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Is it true that he was married to Courtney McCleary on November 6, 2010, and that the marriage was terminated by divorce in 2018?
Yes, that is correct.
Is it true of this marriage there were two children born, a Megan McCleary and a Kelly McCleary? Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Is it also true that your brother Timothy McCleary had a child with Heather Brandwart on December 26, 1999, and that his parental rights to the child named Brett Welton Kidder were terminated in 2000? Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, was there any other children born to or adopted by your brother?
No.
To your knowledge, were there any other marriages of your brother?
No.
And is it true that you do not have a financial interest in this estate?
Yes.
I
I do
pass
not.
this, I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Penny.
Mr. McCleary, is it correct that Timothy only had those three children that you've identified for the court already?
Yes, sir.
You don't know of any other children born, adopted? Is that
Not
correct?
at all. It did not happen.
And there was no other child he took into his home and raised as his own. Is that correct?
No, sir.
And as far as you understand, at the time of his death, he was not married, although he was cohabitating with a woman, Tammy?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
I'll pass the witness.
Counselor, call your next witness.
I would call Carmen McCleary. Carmen, please state your name.
Carmen McCleary.
Carmen, you're the mother of Timothy McCleary, is that correct?
Yes.
And so you do have personal knowledge of his family and marriages, is that correct?
Yes.
Is it true that your son Timothy was married to Courtney McCleary on November 6, 2010, and that marriage was terminated by divorce in 2018? Is that true?
Yes.
And is it true that of that marriage, two children were born, Megan McCleary and Kelly McCleary? Is that true?
Yes.
Is it true that your son Timothy also had a child with Heather Brandwart, born on December 26, 1999, named Brett Welton Kidder, and that your son Timothy's parental rights to the child were terminated in 2000? Is that true?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, were there any other children born to or adopted by your son Timothy?
No.
And to your knowledge, were there any other marriages of Timothy?
No.
Okay. And is it true that you have no financial interest in this estate?
That's true.
I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Penny.
Hi, Miss McCleary. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
I know we talked briefly. Can you confirm that there were no other children that Timothy took into his house that he raised as his own? Were there any other children that Timothy took home and raised
no.
as his own? Okay.
No.
And to the best of your knowledge, he was single at the time and unmarried at the time that he passed away. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll pass the witness.
All right, call your next witness, Counselor.
Your Honor, that's all that I have.
All right, Mr. Penny,
Yes, sir.
are you satisfied
I
with
have no witnesses. We did submit our fees and agree on there. It was a little bit extra work because there were a couple unknown errors identified or potential unknown errors. So
Okay. All right, and but you are you're good with the heirship
yes, Your Honor.
affidavit is presented. I see you signed off on it. All right, so I'm going to approve the ad litem fee and also the heirship and the judgment declaring heirship and the authorized issuance of letters of independent administration. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
You may be.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, cause number 11, the state of Darla, Janet, Sam. Mr. Penny, you're up.
Hi there. Miss Watson, can you introduce yourself to the court?
Deborah Janet Watson.
And Miss Watson, is it true that Darla Janet Sam died on January 22nd, 2023 in Merced, California?
Yes.
Merced County, California, and she was 86 years old.
Yes.
4 years haven't passed since that moment. Is that true?
True.
And at the time she passed away, she was a resident and had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County, Texas.
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, she died with a will that was signed on December 10th, 2012.
Yes.
And a necessity exists for administering this estate. Is that true?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, was the will that your mom signed ever revoked by her?
No.
And is it true that the original cannot be produced because it was misplaced after she passed away and lost during the process of settling her estate?
Yes.
Is it your testimony that you identified the original will after her death?
Yes.
That you made copies of the will?
Yes.
And that you can't find the original at this point?
Yes.
And it's also your testimony that there is a possibility that the original was sent to the insurance company mistakenly thinking it was a copy going that way.
Yes.
All right. And is it also true that you have your dad's will, which was a mirror image of your mom's?
Yes.
And that you still have the original of his in that possession?
Yes.
And is it also true that, to the best of your knowledge, your mom never revoked her will?
That's correct.
And you've done everything you can to find the original will, but you're still unable.
Correct.
All right. The heirs are Deborah Watson, David Battelle, and Terry Miller.
Yes.
And no state or governmental agency or charitable organization was named in the will.
Correct.
After the date of the will, no child was born or adopted by your mom.
No.
And after the date of the will, no marriage was dissolved.
Correct.
All right. To the best of your knowledge, she did not receive Medicaid. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the will named Richard Henry Sam, that was your father, correct?
That was her husband, my stepfather.
Or your
yes.
stepfather, to be the personal representative, but he's already passed away.
Yes.
And you were the alternate named in there.
Yes.
And there's nothing that disqualifies you from accepting letters testamentary or from being the executor in this estate. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, I'll pass the witness.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, everybody admit the will to probate and authorize letters. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Call number 21, the state of Marcia K. Dowdle. Burrs, you make it on. There you are. No?
I believe he's running a little bit behind, Judge.
Okay. Then we'll go to 24, the state of Michael Berry.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Fronberger. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you. All right, state your name for the court, please.
Madonna Darlene Berry.
And Madonna, tell the court what relation you are to Michael Berry.
I was his spouse.
And is it true that your husband passed away on January 23rd of this year in Houston, Harris County, Texas, at the age of 72?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at the time he passed away, he was a resident of Chambers County, Texas.
Correct.
Now, we have filed his original will. The original will is on file with the court, a copy of which is here. Do you recognize this as his last will and testament?
Yes.
Okay. And if you'll go to the signature page, you recognize his handwriting, of
Oh,
course.
yes. Yes. I can
And-
see his initials down here at the end of the pages. Yes. Yes. I recognize his signature.
Okay. And that will, let me see here. So this will that was executed on February 22nd of 2017. To the best of your knowledge, this will was never revoked by him, right?
Correct.
Okay. And there were no children born or adopted to him after the will was executed?
No.
And there were no marriages dissolved. Y'all were still married when he passed?
Yes.
Okay. And the will does not name a charity, the state of Texas, or any state or government agency as a beneficiary, does it?
No.
Okay. And the will names you to serve as independent executor, is that right?
Yes.
And it names you to serve as independent executor to serve without bond and to receive letters testamentary, is that right?
Yes.
and you are not disqualified from serving as an independent executor. And what I mean by that is you've never been convicted of a felony,
No,
and you've never been convicted of a crime of theft, fraud, or moral turpitude.
no,
Okay, and you have not been deemed incompetent or incapacitated by any court.
no,
Okay, and so what you're asking the court to do is to admit this will to probate and to appoint you as an independent executor and issue you letters testamentary. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Judge, I don't have anything further. It is a non-taxable estate. We would ask that the appraisers be waived.
All right, so done. Hereby admit the will to probate and grant letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Judge.
Good day. All right, number 25, estate of Keith Joseph Janice.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Are you
All right.
testifying?
Yes, I'll be giving testimony. Thank you. My
may
name is
proceed.
Mark Jacob, and I'm the attorney for the applicant Keith Joseph Janice Jr. I was personally acquainted with Keith Joseph Janice prior to his death. He died on February 2nd, 2025 in Harris County, Texas, but had a domicile and fixed place of residence at the time of his death in Chambers County, Texas. He was the age of 69 years at the time of his death, and 4 years have not elapsed since his death. As far as I know, he died without having revoked the last will and testament that we had him sign November 11th of last year. That's the will we're offering for probate herein. I'd ask the court to take judicial notice that we've sent the original of the will to the court.
Okay.
Thank you. Your Honor, a necessity exists for the administration of this estate. No children were born to or adopted by Keith after the date of the will. He was not divorced after the date of the will. Neither a charitable organization nor the state of Texas or any governmental agency is named in the will as a devisee. And the independent executor named in the will, Keith Joseph Janice II, is not disqualified by law from accepting letters testamentary or serving in that capacity. Your Honor, we would ask that you would waive appraisers as well.
It's a will of probate and authorize letters testamentary. Of course, this is for Cowboy, not Keith.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, State of Linda Rice. Scott,
Yes,
good
Judge.
morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. You may proceed.
Thank you, sir. Judge, my name is Weston Cotton, and Linda Rice died February the 2nd, 2025 in Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 82 years. 4 years have not elapsed since her death. She had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the time of her death, and her will was signed December the 2nd, 2019. It was never revoked so far as I know. She did not apply for nor receive Medicaid benefits on or after March the 1st. 2005. There is a necessity for the administration of the estate. Her will was self-proved according to law, and there's no state, governmental agency, or charitable organization named in the will as a devisee. After the date of the will, no child or children were born to or adopted by her after the date of the will, and no marriage was ever dissolved after the date the will was made. Her will named her son, James Lee Rice, to serve as the independent executor. Judge, to the best of my knowledge, he is qualified and not disqualified by law to serve as the executor, and he should be appointed. Judge, it is a small estate, and we'd ask the appraisers be waived.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.
May I be excused, Judge?
You may be. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you again.
You too. Call number 34, the state of Gary LeGrand Hahn.
You're present, Your Honor. Good morning.
You may proceed, Counselor.
Okay. Could you state your name for the judge?
Yes, Teresa Hayes.
And were you acquainted with Gary LeGrand Hahn?
Yes, I was.
How did you know?
I've been friends with the family for 36 years.
So you were good friends with the decedent?
Yes.
And did Gary LeGrand Hahn die on March 10th of this year in Anahuac?
Yes, he did.
And did he have a fixed place of residence in Anahuac, Chambers County, Texas, at the time of his death?
Yes, he did.
All right. I am showing you a copy of a will, the original of which was filed with the court after we had our first consultation. I'm showing this to you now. Do you recognize this document to be his last will and testament, or this copy?
Yes, I do.
Does it look like his signature to you?
Yes, it
All
is.
right. Do you have any reason to believe
No, I do not.
And did he have any children who were adopted by him after he made the will on December 2nd of 24?
No, he did
All right.
not.
And did he have any marriage that ended by divorce or other means after he made the will?
No, he did not.
Okay. Have 4 years passed since his death?
No,
Is the state or any governmental agency or any charity named as a devotee or a beneficiary in the will?
no, it is not.
And is it true that there is a necessity for administration of this?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And you understand the will names you, Teresa Hayes, to serve as independent executive?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are you qualified and not disqualified to serve as independent executive?
I'm qualified.
Okay. You've never been convicted of a felony or crime involving moral turpitude, anything like that, correct?
No, I have
Okay.
not.
And you don't have any kind of conflict of interest against the estate or Mr. Bond?
No, I do not.
And as far as you know, this estate is not taxable. In other words, safely under $14 million, correct?
Correct.
No reason to believe there'd be a state tax responsibility.
Correct.
Okay. Judge, that's all the testimony we have to.
Probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you.
Have a good day. You good. Cause number 35, the state Leon Klutz. Mr. Brinkley.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Dean Brinkley. I'm here today with Nancy Mosley and Janice Mallix.
Good morning. Did we swear you ladies in?
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
Okay. Well, you may proceed then.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I'm going to start with Mrs. Mallix. Janice, your name is Janice Mallix, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
You are formerly known as Janice Bridgers, is that right?
Yes.
And you are the daughter of the decedent Leon Klutz.
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
And the lady that's sitting right there with you is Nancy Mosley, is that correct?
Yes.
And she is your sister.
Yes, sir.
And y'all are asking the court to appoint you as co-executors of this estate, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, the fact is that your mom, Joanne Klutz, was nominated to serve executor, but she died before Dad, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You and your sister then were named as successors to serve in this capacity, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the will that we're trying to probate was executed on February the 7th, 2012. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And to your knowledge, that will was never revoked or was never replaced by another will. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Dad died at Harbor Hospice in Beaumont, Texas, but on January the 9th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
But he had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the time of his death. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have a need for the administration of this estate because there's some real property that needs to be sold and distributed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If we look in the will, we're not going to find a state or a government agency or a charitable organization named as a devisee in the will, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The estate is a small estate. It's worth less than $14 million. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. There's no further questions for this witness. I would ask Nancy Mosley to testify now.
You may proceed.
Ms. Mosley, you've heard the testimony of your sister Janice, is that correct?
Yes.
Is everything she said true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
And as far as the two of you go, there's nothing that would prevent you from serving in this capacity. And we've talked about whether you qualify and you're satisfied that you are qualified to serve in the capacity as executor. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further testimony from these two witnesses, Your Honor. We would ask that the appraiser review away since they say it's worth less than $14 million.
Order the will to probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor.
All right, thank you,
Ladies,
Judge.
have a good day.
You too, Judge.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Marangela, have you heard from Mr.
No, ma'am, I have not.
You want to try him, Ransley? Do you have a number for him?
Yes, sir.
Come in.